Star Wars 7x7 episode 2269. Today, another installment of What to Watch Next, and it's a prequel story from Star Wars Squadrons. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy. And thank you so much for joining me for it. So, Hunted is the name of a prequel to the Star Wars Squadrons video game that's coming out next month. It is a standalone story. It looks like it was created with the game engine that they use for the cutscenes and that sort of thing. So it's not something that you're actually going to get to play. It's just something that I would imagine sets up the actual storytelling of Star Wars Squadrons. It's kind of unique in the sense that it tells a story with the Empire as the heroes for all intents and purposes. The main character, Varco Grey, is the leader of Titan Squadron, and this is really a story that portrays the Empire as the heroes of this particular telling, which kind of makes sense in a way. I mean, it's unusual in that we don't usually get those kinds of Star Wars stories, but because Star Wars Squadrons, because you're going to play both as the Empire and as the New Republic, and you actually need to do that to go through the story that they want to tell you, well, I guess it kind of makes sense that they would have some stories that focus on the Empire as the heroes. I mean, I'm sure they probably wouldn't want to release a game where if you decided to be on the New Republic, then they would have you fly missions for the Empire, and your job is to just be awful at those missions and have the Empire just utterly fail at them. I mean, you know, that's kind of amusing in its way. But anyway, there are elements of this little CGI short that are kind of familiar as far as Star Wars stories go. So, for example, here's the actual description of the story. It says, the New Republic fleet strikes the Imperial dockyard at Var Shah. The Empire's retreat after a surprise attack, this particular surprise attack, marks yet another stumble in the wake of the second Death Star's destruction. But for one member of Titan Squadron, the battle is far from over. Squadron leader Varco Grey finds himself as the last TIE pilot on the battlefield, hunted relentlessly by a renegade New Republic X-Wing in this standalone Star Wars Squadrons story. So the deal is that, you know, when Var Shah gets attacked, like, all of these other Imperial ships and, you know, remnants of stuff end up crashing down through the atmosphere. So there are these giant flaming fireballs that are coming down, which is very reminiscent of the Battle of Jakku and all the starships that crashed and burned there, except Var Shah is much nicer planetary-wise compared to Jakku. You know, the beautiful canyons, greenery, water, yeah, much lovelier. So this is going to be, you know, a more unfortunate situation by comparison. And it seems that the Imperial dockyards are protecting the planet itself, because you remember in Rogue One where they had the giant ring in orbit that had a shield over Scarif? That thing, well, one of those is there, and that's also been pretty beat up by the New Republic attack also. And the Overseer is our main Star Destroyer, and one of the things that it does, which is, you know, pretty common, is an Imperial's deciding to retreat and cutting and running and just leaving everybody behind. Yeah, just if you're a TIE fighter pilot or any kind of Imperial pilot and you're not on board when they're ready to go to light speed, then you are out of luck. As for Varco Grey, the leader of Titan Squadron, well, it's probably not spoiler territory to say that, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the spoiler warning in the sense that if you have not seen any of the gameplay trailers, the trailer just release footage, if you have not seen anything from Star Wars Squadrons and don't want it spoiled for you, then, you know, this is your fair warning. I'm not going to tell you what happens in the actual Hunted story, though, because you get to watch that. But I will say that it's probably not a surprise to hear that Varco Grey would survive this little short story Hunted, because you see him in Star Wars Squadrons, and this is a prequel story. So yeah, it's not a surprise that he ends up winning this particular battle with the renegade X-Wing fighter. But there's something particularly different about Grey and his character, definitely different from pretty much any Imperial TIE pilot that you've seen, or people who command TIE pilots. And I'll explain what that is in just a minute. I do just want to give a quick shout out to our friends at Audible and thank them again for letting me offer you a free audiobook download and a free 30-day trial via sw7x7.com/audible. We talk about audiobooks on the show on a pretty regular basis here because, hey, you're listening to a podcast. Maybe listening to a Star Wars story would be fun. And I'm very excited about the next audiobook-related interview that I'm doing. It will debut in 2 parts on Sunday and Monday. We have a narrator joining us, and it's probably the one that I've been most excited for to date. And I'm really excited to share it with you tomorrow and Monday. So for now, let me just say, go to sw7x7.com/audible for your free audiobook and free 30-day trial, including the one from the narrator that you're going to hear tomorrow. Anyway, so Varco Gray's character, what makes him different from most other Imperial TIE fighter pilots is that he actually cares about the fate of the pilots in his squadron. And that's not to say that other pilots don't necessarily care about the fate of their squadron mates, but there's also a very strong sort of natural selection attitude among Imperial TIE fighter pilots. Like, if, somebody is split off from the formation and they get shot down, well, that's their own darn fault, right? And if people are getting left behind, well, again, that's their own darn fault. We've seen this in, say, the Solo movie when you talk about the deleted scenes where, there was stuff that was happening in the Academy. It's in Star Wars Resistance when Tamara Vora and Jace Rucklin defected to the First Order and became pilots for them. Yeah, this is something that's a pretty common thread, but there's a point where another member of Titan Squadron is pinned down and Varco Gray decides to go help rather than just head straight for the Overseer to make sure that he's on it when it jumps to hyperspace. He goes to try to help his squadron mate, and that's a very different animal compared to the kind of TIE fighter pilot you normally see. And like I said, I'm not going to spoil Hunted for you, but I am going to tell you that karma is a good thing for Varco Gray in that regard. And I'll just leave it at that. In fact, we'll leave it right there. Check out Hunted. I will have it linked at the blog post for the show's episode at sw7x7.com. And I hope you check it out. I hope you enjoy it. It's pretty good fun. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode of the show. Thank you so much for joining me for it, as always. And may the Force be with you, wherever in the world you may be.
Star Wars 7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2020 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.